I would like to welcome all of you to our tutorial class on air. Tutorial class on air. On air. If you notice, there are two words. On air. The rule in communication is, if there are two words, the second word starts with a vowel sound, not the letter as a vowel or the vowel as a letter, but the vowel sound as in A. You have to continue and carry on the sound from the last sound from the first word to the first sound of the second word. So it has to be on air, not on air. Another example, to, the second word is it. To and it. The second word is it. It starts with a vowel sound, I. That is why you have to carry on again the sound from the first word to the second word. To it. The first one, on air. The second one, to it. And another example will be to this word, eat. You don't have to say to eat, but to eat. To eat. Anyway, I'd like to welcome all of you. This is our second session for our tutorial class on air. On air. Remember? On air. Okay. I am greeting everyone. Good afternoon for the Philippines. Good morning for other parts of the world. Good evening for still other parts of the world. Because I am very happy to inform you that when we launched our tutorial class on air last week, I received several intentions from different friends of mine, even those whom I did not know, and I do not know, that they're interested to join our class. I feel very elated. Now, I'd like to greet you again. My name is, if you still don't know my name is Ardy. Ardy, yes. And like what I said, this is our second tutorial class on air. All these sessions are free. The next 5 sessions are free. No charge at all. I promised you last time I'll be sharing myself with you. What I learned and maybe what I experienced, I'll be sharing all these with you for the first 5 sessions. After that, I will be having my own YouTube channel. Somebody offered to create, establish, I do not know how to call it, but somebody started to promise me that we are going to have our YouTube channel. Once that shall have been created, that will be the moment that we are going to limit the number of participants in order to have a very good effect of quality education. Quality education. Now, you might ask me, where will I get the materials for our sharing? That is a very good question. Where will I get the materials for our sharing? Before I answer that question, I'd like first to tell you and to remind you and to recall what we first discussed last time. I said there are many theories of communication. Many theories. One would be the sender is a message. Another one is that one that has been proposed by Mr. Lasswell. And what is the theory of Lasswell? Like what I said last time, Lasswell said that there is a sender, followed by a message, there is a receiver, and definitely a feedback. If you agree to what I said, I'll be very happy, because that is a theory. However, if you do not agree, well, It's up to you to ask me a question. I'll be giving you my email address or my private message address so that we can communicate with each other privately outside of this session. So going back to the theory of Laswell, there is a sender, there is a message, there is a receiver, and of course, there is a feedback. This is the word. There is a feedback. Now, this word is a common error in communication. Most people will say that the plural form is feedbacks. No, the rule in communication says, correct usage of words says, there is no plural form for feedback. Feedback, whether plural or singular, should always be feedback. Mangutana siguro mo, nganuman, Bisaya ko karon, mangutana siguro mo, nganuman, unsa man puy balaod sa binisaya. Magbinisaya gani kuno ta sa komunikasyon, diretso gyud ang binisaya. Ayaw gyud na sa gulig in English or tinagalog bakaha o kinat sila. Diretso Bisaya, diretso in English. Except if you could not translate the word into the English language because you would like to emphasize the essence of the word in the dialect. So I believe it will not be healthy and I will not be comfortable if someone would say, where are you going? Are you going now to the school? Where is the word inserted there? What is the word inserted? Na. Tinuod bitaw, magtun ako sa school. Unya mahapit sa library ha? Ngano di man na diretsyon? Magtun na ta sa eskwelahan. Mohapit punta. Now, why is it that you have to maintain the word library? Because library is taken from the English language. Taas na pud kaayo unsa man puy binisaya og library. Mas sayon man sabton ang library kay miingon ka og kanang sudanan sa daghan kaayong mga libro. Okay? Therefore, I'd like to go back to what I said. The theory that we are focusing on right now is the theory of Laswell. There is a sender, there is a message, there is a receiver, and there is a feedback. I'd like to go back again to the question, which I said a while ago. What will be the materials I'll be using here? This is a personal sharing, and I told you about this. A personal sharing. Therefore, my sharing with you will be based on, number one, all the things that I have learned in school when I took up my studies. Until now, I still continue to learn. Until now, I still continue to learn. I don't have a doctor's degree. I have a master's degree. Dili ko no po na masteral. Dili ko no angay nga may untag unsa may imong masteral degree. The real expression is, what is your master's degree? Diretso in English. The real expression is, what is your master's degree? So dili ko mangay miingon nga ang tinuod ana is, what is your master's degree? Why? I have already mixed English with our dialect. Kung mahimo lang yun, ayaw sa guli. Ayaw i-bislish. Ayaw i-taglish. If you want to go to straight English, go straight English. In fact, one of the effective means of communication is spontaneity. The spontaneity of conversation. The spontaneity, what is meant by spontaneity? The spontaneity is the noun. Spontaneous is the adjective. Spontaneously is the adverb. So what is spontaneity? That is the smooth flow of words that will come out from your mouth, as if you have memorized the poem. Like for instance, if you would like to talk to somebody and you would say, hey, have you memorized that first stanza of the Raven, which says, once about a midnight dreary or 100 weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more. There is spontaneity in the conversation. Why? Because I have memorized the first stanza of the Raven. I'm sure you're agreeing with me that you remember fully well the Raven, written by Edgar Allan Poe. Therefore, one basis of our materials would be what I learned in school in my entire studies. I still continue. In other words, I would say what I have learned I will use here. But what I learned in school before and now, I will use here. So there is a difference between what I learned and what I have learned. We will go back to the usage of have, learned, and learned in the succeeding sessions that we will have. Second basis of my materials, what I have experienced. For instance, in our speech class before, we were told to go upstage. To me, it was not enough. It was not enough to go upstage. Why? The stage in school was not enough for me. I had to explore the stage outside my school. So, I had to practice myself how it was to be a broadcaster, how it was to be a master of ceremonies right there on stage. That is the second kind of material we will be using. And the third kind of material will be, of course, what you and you and you have shared with me. I'd like to repeat, these are all the materials we're going to use based on my learnings. Number 2, based on what I experienced in my own life as a communicator. And number 3, based on what I got from my friends. Therefore, I would like to tell you that we are now into effective communication. FCOM, effective communication. More or less, there are 2 basic factors, among others, to determine effective communication. And what are these 2 factors? I hope you can still see this. One is this one, and another one is this one. So if you notice, this one is grammar, the other one is rhetoric. This one is grammar, and the other one is rhetoric. If you notice, there are 2 syllables in the second word. The first syllable is re, and the second syllable rather is trick. You do not pronounce the letter O here because we are only after sounds. First sound is re, the second sound is trick. So we say rhetoric. Rhetoric. What is grammar? Grammar is the correct usage of words. What is rhetoric? Rhetoric is the beautiful usage of words, the beautiful expression of words, the beautiful presentation of words. We will start with rhetorics. What would determine the beauty of rhetorics? That is our lesson for our 3rd tutorial class on air. Next session. Remember, this is Ardy, and you've got a friend.